Yes, let's talk about those Pepsi things because I'm sick and tired of seeing NFL players sign on the dotted line, cash those monster checks, and then cry foul a year later that they're done being cheated. Newsflash, you guys signed the deal. Nobody forced you to sign the deal. Nobody tricked you to sign the deal. You agreed to the numbers, you agreed to the years, and you agreed to the terms. And now you want to hold out? Now you want to demand a trade? Now you want to blow up the locker room because you feel, quote, disrespected? Give me a break. Fans do not get to renegotiate their mortgage when they don't feel like it. Workers don't get to walk into their boss's office 2 months later demanding more money just because he had one good week of work. You signed a contract, honor it. Play it out, earn the next one. That's how it's supposed to work. And here's the part that burns me the most. These are million-dollar deals, multi-million-dollar deals, generational wealth. And still guys act like they're just being shortchanged. Meanwhile, these teams all take all the risk. They pay you up front, they deal with the injuries, and they are the ones who are on the hook if you underperform. The facts are, guys, if you do not like the deal, don't sign it. But once you do, you own it to your team, your fans, and the game itself to fulfill that contract, period. Stop the holdouts, stop the hold-ins, stop the fake trade demands, stop acting like victims when you're making more in a week than most people see in a year. It's time for the NFL players to get back to being professionals, not divas. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that while I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hours, guys. Be sure to over manhourradio.com. Check out the blog section, of course. Check out the subscribe section as well. And, of course, check out the merchandise, guys. We got fresh merch that just dropped over there, guys. But welcome to the Man Hour NFL Talk, guys, your go-to spot for live, raw, uncut NFL talk. And I'm so glad you're with us here today. But, guys, do not forget to hit the like button, hit the share button, of course, subscribe to the channel as well. That's the best way to stay connected to us to make sure you never miss a live, interactive show. Speaking of live interactive show, guys, this is a live interactive show, and my chat is all types of messed up. There's a little bit of update, but we got to welcome some people in the chat today. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Old Man River. He says, what up, y'all? What is up, Old Man River? And guys, Old Man River is a pigskin pun, so be sure to get you some.
Pigskin pun, get you some.
Guys, you can be like Old Man River. You can hit the subscribe button down below. $4.99 a month gets you free entry into all of our weekly NFL pick'ems. We're giving a $100 giveaway every week, all 18 weeks of the NFL season. You get free merchandise, and of course, you get the bonus segments of each and every show. So become a pigskin pundit as well. Then we got the man, the myth, the legend, the everydayer here, Mr. Alpha Rob is in the chat today as well. What is up, Alpha Rob? What's good, brother? What is good? What is good? What is good? And then over here on the Facebook side of things, we have John Cunningham. He says, what are the topics for tonight? We got a little bit of Rashee Rice. We got to talk about the 6-game suspension. We got to talk about Travis Hunter being a bust, a potential bust. Is it a bust pending? And then it is Wednesday. Of course, we got cold, hard facts here on this Wednesday. We are going to talk about the male cheerleaders in Minnesota. We are going to talk about Aaron Rodgers not playing a full season. We're going to talk about Micah Parsons potentially going to the Green Bay Packers. And then we got a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap to wrap up the show, talking about can the Buffalo Bills ever win a Super Bowl, and if the Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl window is officially closing. So those are the topics on tonight, guys. So stay tuned, buckle up, because it is a great time to be on the Man Hour Nation. So let's go ahead and start right there up at the top, and let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. That's right, guys. Put some respect on their names. But there's some breaking news coming out of Kansas City earlier today. Wide receiver Rashee Rice has officially been handed down that 6-game suspension by the NFL. This all stems from his role in high-speed crash, aka racing, back in 2024, and is going to sideline him for the opening stretch of the Chiefs season. Guys, let's dive into what this means for the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, and the fan base in general, and Rashee Rice's future in the NFL. So, guys, here are the details what we know about the suspension, right? Rashee Rice accepted the 6-game suspension without an appeal, avoiding what could have been even a lengthier punishment if he did decide to appeal it. The NFL initially wanted at least 8 games, but by agreeing to terms, Rashee Rice will now be eligible to return Week 7, just in time for that big divisional matchup versus the Las Vegas Raiders on October 19. Now, obviously, this suspension knocks him out of some major key games to start the season. Obviously, the opener in Brazil versus the LA Chargers, a Super Bowl rematch with the Philadelphia Eagles, a showdown with the New York Giants, the Baltimore Ravens, and of course the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the one and only Detroit Lions. Guys, clearly, these are not throwaway games. The Kansas City Chiefs are facing playoff caliber teams week in and week out without arguably their number one receiver. Now, the legal troubles have been stemming for Rashee Rice from this last season when he drove his Lamborghini 119 miles an hour on a Dallas highway, weaving through traffic just before causing a multi-crash and left with multiple people injured. He did flee the scene and instead of checking on the victims. He did later plead guilty to felony charges of the collision involving serious bodily injury and racing on the highway. He was sentenced to 30 days in jail, 5 years probation, and over $115,000 in restitution to the victims. He does have some flexibility, however, on when he does serve his jail time. But the damages to the reputation, he has already paid that off. But on the field, guys, we have to not overlook Rashee Rice. He has been there when the things have gotten tough for the Kansas City Chiefs fans, right? When Rashee Rice is healthy and focused, he is legitimately the number one, if not a top 10 receiver in the NFL. His 2023 rookie season had 79 catches, 938 yards, 7 touchdowns. He looked like the perfect complement to Travis Kelce, and it took him a while to develop that role. He didn't really develop that role till right about postseason time, 2024. He started off hot, 24 catches, 288 yards, 2 tutties in just 4 games before tearing his ACL thanks to Patrick Mahomes. Now, the Chiefs are going to go back into a year without a guy who had easily been a 1,000-yard receiver back-to-back healthy seasons. And let's not forget, guys, the Kansas City Chiefs just stacked their wide receiver room with Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and of course, they still got Juju Smith-Schuster still in the mix. That team carried 8 wideouts on the 53-man roster, clear preparing for this exact scenario. But the impact on the Chiefs is going to be dynamic, right? Now, the suspension does leave Patrick Mahomes without one of the most trusted young targets on the team. Sure, the Kansas City Chiefs are built for adversity. Yes, they did go to the Super Bowl without Rashee Rice last year. However, losing Rice against opponents like the Eagles, Ravens, Chargers, and the Lions could really hurt the momentum early in the playoffs. And the AFC is too stacked to overlook teams in September and October. Every game matters, and without Rashee Rice, Andy Reid is going to be leaning hard on Hollywood Brown and Travis Kelce to carry the passing game. But here's the bottom line. Rashee Rice had a chance to cement himself as one of the next top stars in Kansas City. Instead, off-the-field decisions have him sitting nearly out half the season, and he's only 25. He's still got time, but the Chiefs can't afford to do this and even become a pattern. So my thoughts on this whole situation, guys. This is a self-inflicted blow that could cost the Kansas Chiefs critical seeding in the AFC playoff picture. Yes, Rashee Rice will be back receiver Week 7. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs will weather the storm, but the damage may already be done. But probably not, but it could. So, guys, I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Did the Kansas City Chiefs do the right thing by not cutting Rashee Rice and just letting the NFL hammer down their suspension, right? That is my big question for you guys. Me personally, I think Kansas City Chiefs are going to be just fine without Rashee Rice for the first 6 games of the NFL season. They are built for this. This what makes them dangerous is when they do not have a true number 1 receiver. So let's jump into the comments, guys, and let's hear your thoughts about this. Will Olsen is in the chat, and he says, is D-Hop playing for the Kansas City Chiefs this season? No, DeAndre Hopkins did sign with the Baltimore Ravens this offseason. He did go over there for a chance to win a Super Bowl, right? And arguably, I do not blame the guy. Because if you look at DeAndre Hopkins and the Kansas City Chiefs, he would have been the third, if not the fourth receiver on this roster, right? With a healthy Rashee Rice, with a healthy Xavier Worthy, and a healthy Hollywood Brown. Those are your 1, 2, 3 guys. D-Hop was on the outside looking in. So, yes, he did ultimately go to the Baltimore Ravens, which is a good move for him. It sucks that he is no longer a Kansas City Chiefs, but it is what it is. Excuse me. Over here on the old tickety talk machine, people are asking, why do you love the Kansas City Chiefs so much? They're just Tay-Tay's boyfriends. Like, what? what does that even mean? So, yes, Taylor Swift is getting engaged to Travis Kelce. Yes, they are going to get married. Yes, they're going to be probably happy for a very, very long time. But come on, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Tay-Tay and TK, they can do whatever they want. But the truth of the matter is, guys, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be just fine without Rashee Rice for the first six weeks, first 6 games. Come back, and bada bing, bada boom, they're going to smack the old Las Vegas Raiders in the mouth come week 7. Alpha Rob says, Rice not going to be good this year. He's coming off an injury and hasn't played in a while. This is exactly the one thing that I am kind of worried about, Alpha Rob. Because there are threats of people saying, oh, you can sit out this, whatever, right? Micah Parsons is going to sit out. This person's going to sit out, yada, yada, yada. When players sit out, not by choice, by injury, whatever, and they get in this legal mindset, and then he's going to be out for another 6 games. So he's going to legitimately miss, 22 games after it's all said and done? That is nearly 2 full football seasons, right? That's a year and a half of a football season that he will not see game speed, game contact, all that kind of stuff. He's only 25 years old, right? But listen, 25 years old is kind of ancient in NFL terms, especially wide receiver terms. The one thing that a lot of receivers rely on is their quickness, is their route running, is their hands, right? When you are not running routes, when you're not doing this, and this against game time competition, you're going to be rusty. You're going to lose a step. It's going to take you time to gain that momentum. So, and then coming off the LCL injury, that's even bigger, right? That is a very, very tough situation. With that being said, if Rashee Rice was on any other team, let's say he was on the Miami Dolphins, let's say he was on the Cleveland Browns, let's even throw out a mediocre team out there, let's say he was on the Houston Texans, I think his comeback would be a lot slower. But the fact that he is on the Kansas City Chiefs, the fact that Andy Reid and the Chiefs practice so hard, they practice like they play 9 times out of 10, and the fact that Rashee Rice doesn't have to be the guy. He is going to come back faster, bigger, and stronger. He is going to come back with that chip on his shoulder. He's going to come back ready to play football. So yes, he has not played a year and then plus 7 weeks. But I think he's going to be okay. But what do you guys think? Will the Kansas City Chiefs be okay without Rashee Rice for the first 7 weeks of the NFL season? And will Rashee Rice come back and kind of do his thing at the end of the day? I'm curious to what you guys think there. Curious. But let's go ahead and move on to segment number 2. And that is about the Jacksonville Jaguars and their man, Travis freaking Hunter, right? Guys, Jaguars fans, I've got to say it. I have to say this. I have to put this out there right now. Travis Hunter playing both sides of the football is flat out a mistake. Yes, he's healthy and he's cleared for week 1 against the Panthers, but the idea of putting him at wide receiver and cornerback in the NFL level is going to stunt his growth, wear him down, and ultimately hurt the Jaguars in the long term. But let's break it down. Guys, Travis Hunter has had good stats, right? Sorry, let's talk about his injuries first, right? He has been nursing this upper body injury since mid-August. He didn't play in the final 2 preseason games, and he's only participated in individual drills until just recently. But as of Wednesday, he, quote, back at practice 100%, full speed ahead. General manager James Gladstone said the team hasn't changed their expectations. They still want Hunter going both sides of the ball in the opener. He even called someone who impacts both sides of the football. He said he can't wait to see what he can do on Sundays. Here's the problem. Just because you can It doesn't mean you should. Guys, the numbers tell the story. He has been worked a lot in just camp alone. In training camp alone, he has logged 364 total snaps across 15 practices when he went full. There's nearly a perfect split. 188 snaps on offense, 176 snaps on defense. And on 11-on-11 drills, 173 snaps on defense, 168 on 173 on offense, 168 on defense. That's his body pulling in opposite direction. And that's just not practice. Imagine the total of an actual NFL game. Guys, this is a bad idea. To play Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball, this is a bad idea. He is a bust waiting to happen. But now, at Colorado, we have to give it to him. When he was in Boulder, Colorado, Travis Hunter was a unicorn. He was a college kid dominating both sides of the football. But guess what? This isn't college anymore. The NFL is faster, it's more physical, it's more demanding. Playing 50-50 offense and defense isn't sustainable for a young player's body, especially one already coming off an injury. If he tries to master both roles at once, he's risking becoming average at both instead of elite at one. This is going to stunt his growth. He's way too talented to be stretched this thin like this. The Jaguars need to decide. Is your future a lockdown corner, or is he a big wideout play type of guy? This half-and-half experience isn't going to burn him out and possibly shorten his career. And matter of fact, it's going to make him a bust. Jacksonville Jaguars is already making moves to bolster their receiver room. They just traded for Tim Patrick from the Lions, showing they want depth there. So why force Hunter into this double duty? I don't understand it. It makes way more sense just to let him develop fully on one side of the ball. Give him situational snaps on the other side and build him into a weapon over time. Throwing him out there both ways week one against the Carolina Panthers and barely practicing in full strength, that's reckless. It's stupid. It's asinine. It's ass to 10. Guys, here is the bottom line. Travis Hunter is too valuable to risk playing like this. Playing both ways in the NFL is a flashy headline. It gets butts in the seats, but it's a not long-term winning strategy. Jacksonville Jaguars gambling with one of their brightest stars, and I think, no, I don't. It is going to backfire. It's going to backfire, and Travis Hunter is going to be deemed a bust. But what do you guys think? Should Travis Hunter focus on playing on one side of the football to maximize his potential Pro Bowl utility, or do you believe the Jaguars can actually make this two-way experiment work in the NFL? Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. East Coast time right here at said location. Now, this is a live, interactive show, so comment down below. Alpha Rob says, trying to play both positions is a mistake. Alpha Rob, me and you agree very, very rarely. Sometimes I just think you're out there just trying to get the old man's goat, right? But this is a factual statement. Alpha Rob, say it with your chest. He says, trying to play both positions is a mistake. Pick one. I don't care if it's defense. I don't care if it's offense. Pick a side of the football. It's simple as that. Travis Hunter has the ability to be a Pro Bowl player. Travis Hunter has the ability to be an all-pro player. Travis Hunter has the ability to be Rookie of the Year on offense or defense, not both. Pick one. That's all we're saying. Pick one. Will Olson says 25 is still young in the NFL, and say 30 is when they start being aged in the NFL. You're correct. Will, you are right. 100%. Will also says if Stafford's injury holds him back, I think Jimmy G will be pretty good backup for the Rams. Oh, we got to talk about that. Let me put a marker on along that, Will, because Jimmy G and Devontae Adams are going to go round and round. Where it stops, nobody knows. But I agree with Alpha Rob here. Travis Hunter trying, and let me take this one step further. Do you guys think it's Travis Hunter saying, hey, I want to play both sides of the ball? Hey, let me do this. Hey, let me do that. Or is it the Jaguars saying, no, you will do this. You will do that. I mean, obviously Travis Hunter is not saying no. He's looking at the long term here. He's thinking, damn, in four years, man, I can get two salaries. I can get a cornerback salary and a wide receiver salary, even though it's not going to work like that. The Jaguars are going to try to lowball you. They're trying to go and put you at like a corner. Oh, he played 52% snaps at the corner. That's probably what is going to happen, right? So let's just call a spade. All right. So what do you guys think? Should Travis Hunter decide to be on one side of the ball or playing on both sides of the ball is the right thing?
Pigskin pun. Get you some.
All right, guys. So it is time for a little thing we got to call cold, hard facts. Guys, if you haven't seen this segment before, this is how it works. We're going to lay down some straight facts. No fluff, no sugarcoat, just the real, undeniable truth about what's going on in the NFL world. We're talking about the cold, hard fact. We're cutting through all the noise and getting what is true, what's happening, what's for real. No room for debate here, guys. These are the facts. You can take it to the bank. So buckle up, because we're all about to drop you some knowledge. No overreaction, no over-exaggeration, just pure, cold, hard facts. So, guys, let's dive in to see what is going on the cold, hard facts today. All right, guys, so it is time for Cold Hard Facts, and today we're talking about one of the biggest stories hidden up in the NFL. That's Micah Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys defensive superstar, has obviously submitted to be traded. He wants out of Dallas. Not only that, but the Green Bay Packers are rumored to be in the mix at potential blockbuster trade offer. Now, let's separate the facts from the noise. Right, guys, Micah Parsons is looking for a contract in the ballpark for $200 million. No, let's be real. No defensive player in NFL history has ever sniffed that kind of money. Quarterback, sure, but a linebacker, an edge rusher, an overrated defensive end, never. Guys, the cold hard fact is that the Dallas Cowboys either pay Markins a record-shattering deal or they risk losing one of the biggest defensive ends in football. This isn't just some replacement piece either, guys. Parsons has been the heartbeat of the Dallas Cowboys since he stepped into the league in 2022 or 2021. I'm sorry. His rookie season, he had 13 sacks. In 2022, he had 13.5 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. In 2023, he had 14 sacks, 21 tackles for loss. He's a guy opposing offenses game plan around. You trade him, and you're taking away one of the weapons that makes the Dallas Cowboys Dallas' feared. Another cold hard fact is, guys, is without Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys defense is average at best, period. Now, reports say that the Green Bay Packers are actively preparing an offer. Now, Green Bay Packers hasn't been this aggressive in decades. They usually build through the draft, not a blockbuster trade. But just imagine Micah Parsons paired with Rashee Rice, that young secondary, and that's the nightmare defense. Guys, the cold hard fact is that the Green Bay lands Parsons, they just don't stay contenders. They leap into Super Bowl favorite territory in the NFC. That's a cold, hard fact. But here is where we get to the crossroads. Micah Parsons wants to be paid like the face of a franchise. The Cowboys still think they can win with Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and others soaking up big money. Guys, if Jerry Jones plays hardball, Parsons is gone. The cold, hard fact is that this is about the Cowboys choosing between loyalty and a generational talent, or protecting their salary cap for the future. Either way, somebody's going to be unhappy. Either way, Dallas Cowboys fans are going to be unhappy. Guys, here's the bottom line. If the Dallas Cowboys let Parsons slip away, they're waving the white flag for a Super Bowl contending team anytime soon. You don't trade away the best player on your team and expect to be better. The Packers would steal him, and the balance power in the NFC would shift overnight to the Green Bay Packers. But what do you guys think? Should the Cowboys back up the truck and pay Micah Parsons, or should they trade to the Packers? That actually makes sense for both sides. Guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time, right here on said platform. Now, this is a live interactive show, so drop it your comments down below, and let's get into your thoughts. Old Man River says he will burn himself out, meaning Travis Hunter, 100%. Old Man River also says Parsons to Vegas or Detroit, not the Green Bay Packers. That's tough. Alpha Rob says $200 million. That will never happen. That is what he wants, though. He wants to see that 200M on his paycheck. Now, does that mean $20 million over the next 10 years. I don't know. $200 million. There it is. But it is what it is. But Old Man River does say Parsons to the Green Bay Packers wouldn't make the playoffs. Oof. That is tough, Old Man River. Because the facts is that the Green Bay Packers are already a playoff team without Micah Parsons. They already going to probably challenge for the NFC North without Micah Parsons. They're going to make a deep Super Bowl push, a playoff push, a deep playoff push without Micah Parsons. Then you add that dynamic pass rush of Micah Parsons. Then you add that 13.5 sacks. Are you telling me that does not win you the North? Are you telling me that does not make you better than the Eagles, better than the Rams, better than the Lions? Man, somebody get this to get a hometown beer because this is Homeritis at the best that I've seen it. Now, I understand that last night I said Micah Parsons is the cancer to the Dallas Cowboys, which he is. But grass is sometimes greener on the other side. Sometimes when you leave a bad situation or just a situation period and you go somewhere else, all of a sudden you become a brand new man. Just like when you're dating that girl. You love her, you care about her, but you're just not happy. You know, you kind of start treating her not the best you could, like you kind of take them for granted, that type of situation, right? Kind of like, yeah, whatever. But the minute you get to the new girl, you're rubbing her shoulders, you're taking her out to dinner, you're bending over backwards, you're like, here, take my coat, honey, even though it's 15 below zero. I want you nice and warm and snuggle. Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers, that's what he would do. He would give you the shirt off his back. The man would just be lighting it up. The man would be like, okay, baby, I love you. That's what we're going to go see. Old member says, you sound constipated sucking cheese. Oh, man, this guy.
Skin pun. Get you some.
I am a little constipated. I had some cheese curds for lunch today. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, brother. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But guys, it is time for some more cold, hard facts. And here's one that the Vikings fans may not want to hear either. Guys, Adam Thielen just got picked up by the Minnesota Vikings. And the facts are, Adam Thielen will only be good for the first 2 games of his NFL season. And then we'll never hear from him again. Yeah, I said it. Guys, the Minnesota Vikings traded to bring in their hometown hero back. And don't get caught up in the nausea, right? Let's break it down why this move isn't what it looks like. Guys, now, the Minnesota Vikings didn't bring back Thielen back to be the guy. They already have that Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in football. Now, Jordan Addison will be suspended for the first 3 games of the season. But let's just be honest. Those two are the future. Jordan Addison and JJ are the future in Minnesota. They're the present in Minnesota. Guys, the cold hard fact is Adam Thielen's return isn't about veterans depth. It's not about offensive dominance. It's about filling in for 1 or 2 games while Jordan Addison is suspended. And hopefully you don't suck. Guys, Adam Thielen's best years are way behind him. In Carolina last season, he started off hot, over 70 yards per game through the first month. But after week 4, production fell off a cliff. Defense adjusted. His speed just isn't there anymore. And his separation numbers tanked. Another cold hard fact is Thielen can give you flashes early in the year, but that doesn't mean he's going to have legs to sustain a full high-level season. Guys, here is where it does get interesting, though, right? The Vikings and Packers rivalry is already one of the best in football. Adding Thielen back gives a little bit of spice for the homegrown Minnesota kid back in purple. Squaring off against the Green Bay Packers, making no mistake, the Packers aren't losing sleep over Adam Thielen in 2025. They're worried about Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Not a 35-year-old veteran on his last leg. Another cold hard fact, guys, is that this move adds storylines, not wins. Guys, the Vikings are trying to stack the deck. They're reloading. They're making some moves. They want to push deeper in the postseason, but let's just be honest. Adam Thielen's not moving the needle in a playoff run. He's not changing the defensive game plans. He's just a role player at this point. Matter of fact, he may not even see the field. Guys, the cold hard fact is that the Minnesota Vikings is banking on Thielen to get them over the hump. They're already in trouble. Here's the bottom line. Adam Thielen will give the Minnesota Vikings fans a few feel-good moments early on. Maybe even a couple touchdowns in September, but by midseason, he'll fade into the background. The Najak just doesn't win games. Production does, and Thielen days of defensive playmaker are long gone. But do you guys think Adam Thielen can actually make a good, real impact for the Minnesota Vikings this season, or just a sentimental move that won't matter when it counts? Subscribe, hit the like button. Remember, we're live Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. Now, it looks like we lost the Facebook stream, so that's my apologies there. So come on over to old YouTube's, right? And OJ, the cheerleading squad, he's retiring as a Viking. He should have retired a couple years ago, let's just be honest. Should have retired as a Viking. But whatever. It is what it is. All right, guys, so it is time for the final cold, hard fact of the day. And here's the truth. This is the truth. Nobody actually cares if NFL teams have male cheerleaders. That's not the issue. We could give two shits less if they have male cheerleaders. We don't care. The cold, hard fact is we have a problem with it when the league shoves the fruitcakes down our throat. It is the over-the-top stunts that cross the line from entertainment to straight-up cringe. That's the cold, hard fact. Guys, let's be real. When fans pack the stadiums and tune in on Sunday night, it's not for the halftime act or the sideline routines. It's about touchdowns, sacks, and wins. If there's male cheerleaders on the field, most people won't even notice. Matter of fact, none of us noticed until they started shoving it down our throats. Guys, the cold, hard fact is that nobody is losing sleep over who's dancing on the sideline until the league makes it a headline. The controversy blew up after one performance, male dancers in the bathroom skit with female teammates. That's not football. That's not tradition. That's not even entertainment at this point. It's pushing boundaries just to spark outrage. Another cold, hard fact is that it's not the experience of the male cheerleaders that bothers the fans. It's the NFL turning it into a sideshow act and pretending everybody has to celebrate it. That's the problem. The NFL keeps talking about inclusive, involving traditions and representation, right? That's fine. But there's a difference between allowing diversity and shoving it down the throats of a fan base that came to the game. The fans in Green Bay, Dallas, and Kansas City, they're all here for football, not bathroom dance routines. Cold hard fact is that the league risks alienating fans when it prioritizes making statements over plays. Guys, the bottom line, having male cheerleaders, don't have male cheerleaders. I don't care. The average fan doesn't care. 90% of the NFL fan base doesn't care. College football teams have male cheerleaders. High school football teams have male cheerleaders. NFL should have male cheerleaders. But look at this image. We don't want that. We don't want that shoving down our throats. It's simple as that. The NFL needs to remember what business is actually is. It's football, not forcing storylines that nobody has asked for. But what do you guys think? Are male cheerleaders the real problem, or is this just the way the NFL is trying to spotlight and incite letting the game speak for itself? I want to know your thoughts on your opinion there. All righty, guys. Sorry about I had to get that off my chest. Had to get that off my chest. I'm tired of hearing about it. Tired of seeing it. But it's time for a little bit of facts and a little bit of crap. We're going to separate the truth from the nonsense, cut through the hype, and see what's really worth believing. If it's legit, we're all about it. If it's pure garbage, we're calling it out. So grab your popcorn because it's about to get real because it's time for a whole lot of fact or a whole lot of crap. So let's go ahead and find out about it, baby. All right, guys, it is time for the fact or crap. And today's question, this one's a big for Steelers Nation. Hashtag here we go. Guys, fact or crap, will Aaron Rodgers finish the season as a Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback? Oof, that's tough. Aaron Rodgers, guys, obviously is a headline grabber. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer, or he is going to be a Hall of Famer. But at this point in his career, can he hold up the entire season? Let's break it down. Guys, Aaron Rodgers is still one of the sharpest minds in football. His arm talent, decision-making, and ability to elevate talent around him hasn't gone away. Even when he's healthy, he gives the Steelers something they haven't had since prime Big Ben. a quarterback who can make every throw. Guys, the Pittsburgh Steelers roster is sneaky strong. They got weapons. They got great running backs. They got receivers. And their defense is one of the best and the most feared in the entire NFL. And if Aaron Rodgers stays upright and he's a guy under center for 18 weeks and into the playoffs, there are going to be problems. But here is the problem, right? Here is the problem. The last 3 years, we have shown Aaron Rodgers' durability is no longer reliable. He missed most of all of 2023 with the New York Jets last season, and then last season as well with injuries. He thought through nagging injuries and slowed him down in just a little bit. He is 41 years old, and guess what? Father Time is still undefeated. With that being said, the Steelers also have options. Will Howard waiting in the wings. Mason Rudolph is still there, and this front office isn't afraid to make a tough decision if Rodgers can't go. If the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs hunt, Aaron Rodgers isn't 100%, Mike Tomlin won't hesitate to pull the plug. Guys, Rodgers finishing the season as QB1 depends on one thing, health. It's as simple as that, right? The arm talent is still there. The IQ will never go away, but his body, can it withstand 17 games and a potential playoff push? History says no. So I'm calling this one crap, guys. Aaron Rodgers will not finish the season as a Steelers starting quarterback. I think he'll give them moments. I think he'll give them flashes, but by December, we're talking about Will Howard and or Mason Rudolph finishing the ride. Aaron Rodgers is still great, but not durable enough to make it all the way. But what do you guys think? Is Aaron Rodgers still capable of playing a full NFL season in Pittsburgh? Or will injuries and age catch him up once again like it did in 2024? Now, wild card, says Alpha Rob. Sorry, Old Man River. Wild card for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. Alpha Rob says the fact their O-line is okay and they will run the ball. So Alpha Rob saying, yes, Aaron Rodgers will be a starter for 18 weeks of this NFL season. Facts are facts, baby. Facts are facts. But what do you guys think? Facts or crap? Will Aaron Rodgers play all 18 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season? Now, let's get into factor crap. Question number 2, and the question on the table is, guys, factor crap. Will Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills win a Super Bowl? Bills Mafia, Alpha Rob, rest of the Buffalo Bills fans, brace yourself because this one cuts deep, and let's just break it down. When you look at the history, guys, the Buffalo Bills have been in the mix for years now. Consistent playoff trips, a MVP, matter of fact, a MVP quarterback, but no ring to show for it. Josh Allen has had his shot. That legacy duel with Patrick Mahomes in 2021 in the playoffs, the chances against the Cincinnati Bengals, but every single time the Bills fall up short. And here's the truth. The truth is that the AFC is loaded. Patrick Mahomes isn't going anywhere. Joe Burrow isn't going anywhere. Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, Justin Herbert, even Trevor Lawrence, all young and talented and all chasing the same Lombardi, and they're not going anywhere. The fact is the window for the Buffalo Bills to dominate may already be closing, and Allen could go down as the next Dan Marino. Incredible talent, but no ring. But let's not forget, though, guys, Josh Allen is a freak of nature. He can throw the ball 70 yards. He can run you over like a linebacker and can carry a team on his back. The Bills have retooled the roster, moved money around, and they're still a playoff team year after year after year. And the NFL is very, very unpredictable. All it takes is one hot run in January, a couple Mahomes mistakes, a Burrow injury, or just the football gods finally smiling down on Buffalo to get there. Josh Allen is too good to say he never wins one. But the reality is, guys, the Bills aren't a dynasty. They're not even the AFC favorite anymore. But as long as you have Josh Allen under center, there's always a punter's chance. The question is whether the chance even becomes a championship. So I'm calling this one fact. I'm calling this a fact. I don't believe Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills will ever win a Super Bowl. They had their shot in 2021, and their window when the roster was stacked, and now the AFC is just too crowded. Allen will be remembered as great, but never a champion. But what do you guys think? Will Josh Allen get a ring in Buffalo, or is his career destined to end without a Super Bowl trophy? That's the question. That is the question. Alpha Rob is saying fact. Oh, he's saying crap. I'm sorry. He's saying crap. The Buffalo Bills will win a Super Bowl, says Alpha Rob. For your sake, brother, I hope so. For your sake, I hope so. So let's give you guys a bonus one here. A bonus factor crap tub of the day. So guys, factor crap. Is the the Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl window closing? Lamar Jackson is in his prime. The roster looks strong on paper, but the playoff history tells you another story. Let's get into it. Guys, this one can go either way. I'm going to give you both sides of the tape. We're going to play both sides of the fence for like a little bit here, right? Guys, the facts are the Ravens have had their chances, big chances. 2 years ago, they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in AFC Championship game, falling one step short of the Super Bowl. Last season, they ran into a tough Buffalo Bills team in the divisional round and came up short yet again. That's the problem. They are good enough to get in January, but not good enough to finish. And in the fact that Derrick Henry, their big offseason splash last season, is 31, and he has a lot of wear and tear, and suddenly the window feels like it's closing fast and it can't be stopped. And meanwhile, the AFC is still stacked. Allen, Stroud, Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, right? The list goes on and on and on. Every year the Ravens don't break through is another year the door starts to shut. But let's not pretend that the Ravens haven't fallen apart. Lamar Jackson is still the reigning and two-time MVP. He is one of the most dynamic playmakers in the league, and with weapons like Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and now Derrick Henry on that team, this offense isn't slowing down anytime soon. The defense still remains the strength of the team, and Harbaugh is one of the most consistent coaches in football, and Henry gives them the different dimension on the ground if used correctly. As Lamar, and as long as Lamar is healthy, Baltimore will be a contender. The Ravens are not finished yet, guys, but their chances might have already passed. They're still capable of a deep run, but when you lose to the Chiefs in the AFC title game and the Buffalo Bills in the divisional round, it raises the question, if not then, when? But I am calling this one fact. The Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl window is closing, and it is closing fast. Now, they are still contenders, but they're not favorites. And unless Lamar Jackson delivers this season or next, Baltimore's shot of hoisting another Lombardi could fade away very, very fast. But what do you guys think? Are the Ravens still legit Super Bowl contenders, or is their best chances already passed them by? Alpha Rob says, is it a fact? It's closed, had his best chance in 2023 at home, and the defense shuts out Kansas City in the second half. And Lamar Jackson choked it away. That is facts, baby. That is 100% facts. But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. A little short hour show here. Stick with the radio times. Make them happy. But we'll be back tomorrow, guys, live, raw, uncut. And starting next week, guys, we got bonus segments for the Pigskin Pundits. We're going to talk a little bit about the Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Las Vegas Raiders, and, of course, the Minnesota Vikings, all in our extra bonus segments for the Pigskin Pundits. But until then, you guys, we are out.
Hey, now it's time to take off. Gotta keep it live and raw. Better stay tuned in. Man, our NFL talk. I know that you're ready for more. They on the field, ready for war. Who's in the lead? I'm checking the score. We about to do it like never before. NFL live, uncut, raw. This is